We've completed 3 of the 4 steps to deploy our project to Heroku. So the final thing that we need to do, as mentioned in our previous video, is to create a Procfile. A Procfile is a Heroku-specific type of file that tells Heroku how to run our project. So to create the Procfile, I'm going to redirect the echo command. So I'm going to type echo space web : space Python space run.py. And then I'm going to use the greater than sign to redirect that into a file called Procfile with a capital P. And what this line does is tells Heroku that it's going to be a web process, and the command to run our application is python space run.py, which is the Python file we've created. When I open this file in the Explorer, we can see that that's exactly what it contains. So now that's done, I'll go back to my terminal window and do git space add space procfile with a capital P and git space commit, and I'm going to use the commit message of add procfile. It is important to note that the Procfile must have a capital P. That is a requirement. Now that's done, I can do git space push, and that will push our code back up to Heroku. As last time, it's detected it as a Python app, installing the requirements, but notice it also mentions that it's picked up our Procfile, which has declared the type of a web process. So it says that it's launching our application. Let's go to our URL then and refresh, but we're still getting the application error. There are a couple of reasons for this, but if we go back into Heroku, click on More, and go to View Logs, then we can see the main error message that we're getting is that there are no web processes running. The reason this is happening is that we're telling it we want to use a web process, but we haven't started any. And this is like a watcher that will sit and watch our file that we're running continuously, so that if we make any changes, it will restart and we'll always get the latest version of our app. So let's start a web process. Back at our command prompt, let's type Heroku space ps:/scale space web equals 1. And that tells us that our web process is now running. The one last thing that we need to do then is to set our IP and port environment variables. The reason that we're doing this is because we're requiring those environment variables in our run.py file. So our IP address needs to be set to 0.0.0.0.0, and we're going to set our port to 5000. Okay. When I've added those, I'm just going to view the logs and see that it's restarting everything, which is great. And now I can just go back into Heroku and say restart all dynos. The dyno is the container that's actually running our application. Now that that's done, I go back to my URL and refresh it, and we can see that our application is now up and running, fully functional in the browser. We'll click on each of the links just to test. Contact Us is working. So our page is now fully working. And this is how we deploy to Heroku. Remember our 4 steps. The first thing that we need to do is to create our Heroku app. The second thing is to link our local Git repository with Heroku. The third thing is to create a requirements.txt file, which will install the dependencies for our project and tell Heroku that we're using Python. And then the fourth thing is to create a Procfile. We've covered an awful lot of ground using Flask. We've gone from a very basic Hello World application to a fully fledged web app. Our app has custom routing, template logic, and a JSON data store. And then in this section, we've seen how to deploy all of this to Heroku so that it's out on the internet at large. we suggest that you take some time before moving on in order to familiarize yourself with Flask's structure and Heroku's terminology. I'll see you in the next unit, which is our Flask Chat mini project.